of Dipper.
Dipper is a technology platform that guides professionals of color to a better workplace, one review at a time.
Dipper is your safe space. It is the time for you to share your voice with a community that you are a part of. Visit us and join today at ourdipper.com.
Hi, Jacinta.
Hi, Netta. Hi, LinkedIn world.
Hello, everyone. This feels so good.
So good. Like just refreshing, right?
Yeah, totally. And I'm excited for the topic today. Such an important topic. Goodness, how do we treat each other, right? Like, what is essentially
So real.
about? You wrote such a powerful article, and I know we were just talking about it. What empowered you to write that? What was like?
Yeah, I think the space I was coming from, especially because March, we're talking a lot about women's contributions to society, women's history. And I felt like there was a lot of discourse around like what other groups can do, like are doing to support women, or how they've either acknowledged or lacked the ability to acknowledge. But I felt like there's so much power in how we support each other that can bring all of us forward, that I felt just we needed to talk about more. It's like how, and really like women like you that are in my life, or, you know, really how are we kind of encouraging each other to apply for that promotion, or to go for that new gig, or to leave that role, or whatever. You know, I feel like there's so many things that you need to have your village, your people. I talked about, I read in Michelle Obama's book, The Light We Carry, she refers to it as her table, like the people that she would have at her kitchen table. Who are those people? And like, how are they kind of helping you grow and move, and how are you helping them? And I think women are so fundamental in that, in the workplace. Like, it's okay to have women in the workplace that you bat for, that you are sponsoring and mentoring too.
Yeah. And it goes back, when I think of sisterhood, I think about women really supporting each other. I think about trust. That's huge, you know, because when you talk about essentially finding your community, and I immediately think of you. Like, I think about how we found each other and we supported each other as leaders, as senior leaders within that organization, to the point where we were like, hey, let's launch a company together, right? But we had each other to lean on, and both being working moms as well, caregivers, being able to share those stories and say, hey, girl, this is what's happening. Like, can you support me through this time? And then having that advice. And to your point, when there are things that you're navigating within the workplace, having a sister, someone you can truly call a sister, say, hey, here's how you do it strategically, right? Or be in your best interest and say, hey, I know you have so much on your plate, just pause. It's not about me right now. You've done that for me so many times. And I'm so like, I have to give you your flowers, right? Like,
thank you.
Yeah, it's like, well, let me take my flowers.
I will take them.
Yes.
Thank you.
You know, in the article that you wrote, and those of you that are like, what article did she write? Jacinta is such an amazing writer. She writes a good amount of Our Dippers newsletters here. And the recent one focused on women. There was something that you had placed, and you talked about how we celebrate each other, and the yes. You know that term, yes? Like, that yes is everything.
That's powerful.
Yes, it's yes. Right? We all know that.
And I think it's you know, I think I saw a post somewhere. So sometimes women, especially Black women, can say one word. Like I could just say to you, like, okay, Blazer, and you know that I think your blazer is fire.
Yes. Okay, glasses.
Yes, like that's it. And I feel like that celebration is, and I felt like that needed to be the first thing, is that sometimes just celebrating someone in the workplace is such a great nudge, because someone could have not really acknowledged their greatness, their contributions in a long time. And so for you to call that out as another woman to a woman could be so empowering. And I think it's great when it's not just, it's great when it's also not just something superficial. Like it could be a report someone gave, or how someone delivered in a meeting, or like Netta has a book coming out, and I'm like, of course I'm going to be at everything about the book. Like, I think it's important that we just like celebrate each other. And my friend Netta loves to have a launch party for everything.
I do.
But it's okay. Like, I think you need a friend. Like, who's going to be the friend that shows up with the champagne? Like, it's like, you need that friend. You need that friend.
Absolutely. You're so spot on, and you're right about Black women having that one word, and you just know, like, damn, I did it, right? Like I did that.
I did that.
Or you did that. That's it.
Yeah.
And you did a great job. The next thing that I love that you had focused on was sponsorship. Right? Because there's a difference between sponsorship and there's a difference between mentorship, which you explained very well in that article. Sponsorship is that individual that is going to talk about you when you are not in the room. Heck, they are even going to talk about you when you're in the room. Yeah. And that has been so powerful and striking for me. I've been, recently I had attended an event for EY. And one of the ladies that is organizing it, she made sure to shout me out in front of everyone. Right. And it was funny because many people that meet me, they think that they're just going to get this large extroverted personality, but I'm a mix between an extrovert and introvert.
You definitely are. Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes I'm kind of reserved, right? And introverted. And in spaces where there are a lot of people, I tend to then kind of go into like my little dormant ways. And I remember feeling a little uneasy, very shy. I felt shy for some reason. I'm like, what the heck is happening to me, right? And she made sure to shout me out. She's like, hey, I want to let you all know Netta is in the room right now. She's going to be one of our speakers for an upcoming event. And I just thought it was so powerful because in that moment, I felt a level of release. And I was like, wow. Like, she didn't have to do that, but she did. So that amplification and support, like that is also a level of sponsorship. What has sponsorship looked like for you?
Yeah, it's very funny that oftentimes it came from like men who were in powerful positions who decided to mention me when I was not there. And I think some of it was work I had done and that had been visible to others, or that I did in partnership with others. Someone recognizing like my contributions and then saying, oh, well, wouldn't Jacinta be great for this? Or I think, so one, sponsorship can look like tapping someone for a project.
Yeah.
However, I know that we often get tapped a little too much for projects. So sponsorship can also, like, at my current role, I feel like sponsorship looked like the CEO recognizing and believing that I said, hey, if we had more horsepower, more people, we could do more. We could, and this is the strategy of how, like, where we would do more and how we could do more. But right now we're like super lean. So if we can bring in this consulting company to help us like put our foot on the gas, we will hit where we need to go. Right. Yeah. And so I think some of it is like being tapped for new roles is what sponsorship can look like. And another piece is having support given to you is what sponsorship can look like. Like sometimes it's support you didn't necessarily ask for, but someone recognized like good work is happening there. how could I add more support?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that sponsorship is also, I think, something that needs to be sought after with intention.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of times when I talk to people, they think that someone is just going to willingly like jump to the table to sponsor
Right.
them, you
Right.
know? And I don't think you explicitly need to say, hey, can you sponsor me on this? Sometimes you will need that, you know?
Mhm.
And I think as an executive, you probably find this too, Netta. Sometimes you will have conversations with folks about a big idea you're bringing to a table, but
Right.
you want to get folks to buy into it before the big idea is fully presented. So when it
Mhm.
is presented, there's people in the room who are going to be like, yeah, my team is like amped about this because
Mhm.
of what it's going to do for customers. Like, someone is already bought in. Like, you
Yeah.
don't want to be the only person bought into something. So I think in
Mhm.
some instances, sponsorship, you may explicitly ask for it. In other instances, it's the reward of something you have nurtured over time. So it's something you've
Mhm.
like, a relationship you've added water to, you've been going to coffee, you've been like building on that, you've been supporting that person, and now they're like, yes, let me like add this in for you.
Yeah. And you're right. For me throughout my career, I will say I've had men that have really shown up for me and have sponsored.
Mm-hmm.
And, oftentimes people don't even know they're sponsoring. I like to
100%,
be that
right? Yeah.
example that says, hey, what you just did or what you're doing, that's actually defined as sponsorship. And
Mm-hmm.
that way that person knows, okay, well, I want to duplicate that, right? Like that feels good. I saw that was an
Yeah.
impact for you. While we worked at IAC, one of the things I really admired that the CEO did was he would always bring me into meetings with executives of the parent company. We all know IAC is
Yeah.
extremely big, right? Um,
Yeah.
and that was powerful. It was every year that I was there, I had an opportunity to present. And because of that, I saw how quickly my career had propelled as well. There was even a moment, I remember one of the meetings where everyone was kind of like not listening, talking over me a bit. And he paused them. He said, listen,
Mm-hmm.
someone in the room that knows what she's talking about, and I need for everyone to listen right now. Let me tell you, I even paused. I was confused. I'm like, wait,
Is he talking about me?
let me tell you the
Yeah, yeah,
confidence
yeah.
I had Jacinta in that room after that,
Yeah. Yeah,
moving
yeah, yeah.
forward in this meeting. So the power of sponsoring someone, looking out for them as well, and not remaining silent when you see that someone's talking over or not listening, but
Mm-hmm.
asserting your power because he knew the power and privilege he held in that
Yeah.
moment, and saying, "Okay, I'm going to speak up. I'm going to let them know they need to listen to her." That was really really transformational.
Mm-hmm.
So love. I'm a
No,
huge fan of sponsorship.
that's yeah, and that's a great example too, because is
Yeah.
as a leader, there's that like self-reflection of what's my power that I could use to create space for someone else. So
Right.
like doing that reflection of is there a lane where I have access and power and opportunity,
Yeah.
and how can that possibly be wheeled to like create space for somebody else who maybe doesn't have it.
Yeah.
And Netta, I know you you are a mentor and you have mentors. Like,
Mhm.
how are you seeing, like, what value have you really seen in like women mentoring women and that kind of like doors that are being opened there? I know that's a loaded question, but if you
No,
have,
no, no.
I think your take would be really good here.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good one. Personally for me, like you said, I have many mentors. Some of them, they don't even know that they're my mentor, right? Like,
That's so
they
good. I
don't
was
know, like they're
that's so
people
good.
that we are just
Yeah.
inspired by, and we watch the work that they're doing. We're able to kind of emulate that or listen to some of the things that they're saying. So mentorship has been extremely powerful, I would say, for me, because the mentors in my life have been very direct. And I know, you see, the thing about mentorship is, that person is coming from a good place because you've established a trusting relationship with them. It's
Mm-hmm.
very different than when you don't have a relationship with someone and that person's providing you with feedback and you're like, well, are they do they have the right intent? What's happening here?
Yeah.
Um, with your mentor, they only want to see you grow. They want to
Yeah.
see you do better and be successful. And so leaning on other women, that have mentored me has been incredibly transformational. I have I've been able to be guided on, hey, how to be more strategic within organizations, how
Yeah.
not to, not to take the office work, as we call it, but how to step out of your role a bit, just enough to strategically get you to the next level. And
Yeah.
that's something that I did within the organization that I'm still a part of. I started to work on a prototype for 2 years that I wasn't asked to work on, but that was me stepping a little bit out of the scope of my work because I knew that I had like the product knowledge. I have,
Yeah.
the business knowledge, right? So it wasn't just about me being VP of Global Inclusion. It's, wait, hold on, you can show a little bit more here because that's going to take you to the next level. And in fact, it did. And
Yeah.
that advice came specifically from a mentor of mine. So, yeah, I've had a lot of experiences. And then, I'm mentoring a lot of young women as well right now. And I do the same. I talk to them about, especially those within the workplace, how to be strategic, how to ensure also that you're protecting your peace as you're strategic, right? And as you're moving up and the experiences that you need. I know for me, much earlier in my career, I was closed up due to traumatic experiences that I
Mhm.
had. And I didn't really let people in that wanted to help me. I wasn't really building relationships with senior leaders as well. It was
Mhm.
almost like I'm on an associate level, so I can't talk to a senior leader. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, I can't. I had to throw that out of the way, out of the out of in the garbage, right? And that's something that I share with younger people as well. You are just as valuable. You can talk to anyone you need to, have those one-on-ones, get on the schedule with the CEO or whoever you want to connect with and start to learn and build those relationships because those individuals will be able to really help you get to the next level and guide you in the process.
Whew.
Girl.
100%. 100%. I'm saddened when like executives or CEOs have like office hours and like no one signs up, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah.
And that's the reality. But if you're the person who shows up, like, why not? And
You have
I
nothing to
love
lose.
that. And I love that you leverage your mentor relationship with like helping you make a decision, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, should I step into this opportunity? Like, what? And one thing that I think is really interesting too, you have to understand what perspective is that mentor coming from. Like,
Yes.
so
Yes.
you may trust their perspective and you may trust them, but and maybe if this is like you're thinking about stepping into a new role, you have to recognize like what baggage might that person that's giving me this advice be coming from too.
Yeah.
And that's part of just knowing yourself and knowing the mentor. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely if you are interested in like more content from Dipper, I suggest you go to our LinkedIn page and subscribe to our page in our newsletter. We're sharing gems and updates and info, and you don't want to miss it. And we also have a tremendous platform, Dipper. I mean, sorry, I called you Dipper. I meant Netta. Netta, do you want to talk about that too? Because I know I can't believe time flew by. Like
It's
time is
crazy.
flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Head to ourdipper.com right now, right? We have a platform that's all about a workplace review and ratings opportunity. And really what it's supposed to do is guide you to the best workplaces, right? Oftentimes we get into workplaces and then we see, oh, this is not for me, right? I'm
Right.
not being treated well. We have to read the reviews. And our Dipper, we have a site that allows you to take a look at all of the reviews before you even step foot and apply within an organization. So please take the opportunity to do that for yourself. Protect your peace. Like I like to say, like hair grease.
Yes.
We know how
I
important
love that.
growth,
I love
right?
it.
So,
I love
all
it.
right, everyone.
Yeah,
So,
well, thank you everyone for
yeah,
joining. We really appreciate it.
awesome. Take care.